Back in August 1939, London, 10 strangers are being invited to an isolated island on the Devon coast called Soldier Island. The group of these people wait for the host, but the weather soars, which lead them to cut off from the civilization. But very soon, all of these guests start to die one by one. Starting from the first Miss Claythorne called by the recruitment agency, she is being told that they are minor secretarial duties. No matter what is her qualification, she is the chosen one. She is curious. As she wants to leave, she is shown and given a handsome amount of the money as an initial and immediate expenses. As she looks at the amount, she can't say no to this offer. One by one, all the 10 strangers with special background check are being invited with their initial and immediate expenses that they can't reject the offer. Second is Miss Emily. Third is Dr. Armstrong, specialist in female nervous disorders. Number 4 is retired Judge Justice Wargrave. Number 5 is Tony. Number 6 is Detective Sergeant Blower. Number 7 is Philip Lombard. Number 8 is General MacArthur. And the last two of them are the chef and the caretaker, the husband and the wife, already being hired and are on the duty and wait for the rest of the 8 to come in the mansion, which is located on the isolated island. And there is an announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, silence please, you are charged
with the following indictments.
The train to the Soldier Island is moving to take some of the invitees. Remember, they are all having taken care of the travel expenses too. And some of them take the road trip to reach to the island. Meal is being prepared, and besides the whole arrangement, a round wooden board of the 10 marble figures of the soldiers are put on the dining hall in the center of the table, which is the main attention of the story. They are being dropped by the shore. They start to walk to the mansion, and the guide who is taking them leaves all of them in the middle of the way. Perhaps he knows what's coming for them. Reached at the mansion, they find no host, but they come to know that the host would be arriving soon, somewhere in the night. The caretaker guides all these guests to their rooms. Meanwhile, as everyone is getting settled in the room, Miss Claythorne notices a poem framed on the wall. 10 little soldier boys went out a dine, one choked his little self, and then they were 9. And then the second one is the general. As he pays attention to the lines, something hits him. He talks to himself, says,
Leave me alone.
As everyone is getting ready, Lombard approaches the staircase and the caretaker instructs Lombard that I was strictly advised to let you all know that this area is forbidden to reach. On the other hand, Miss Claythorne is trying to understand the whole mansion, exploring the area. Out of nowhere, the maid, just like the caretaker, approaches, telling her this area is specifically for the staff only. No guests are allowed to enter this area, where Claythorne tells her she is the staff, but maid insists her not to explore until she meets the host herself. Guests are not allowed to come below the stairs. Claythorne asks how many are coming more and how she and the caretaker will cope whole situation. Eventually, she guides her to leave the area. And behind the door, caretaker is listening their conversation. And when she leaves, appreciates the maid or his wife. While everyone is enjoying the moments and introducing to each other, Claythorne enters one of the halls and sees the same poem hanged on the wall. Not noticing Lombard there, only realizes when he speaks, that is one in my room too. I imagine there one in every room. Even makes her more curious. Where Claythorne shares her thoughts, well, the Soldier Island makes sense, but Lombard has suspicion on the host. Lombard had eyes on Claythorne when they were traveling on the same train to the soldier island, and she avoids him, taking as gesture of harassment. Where now Lombard tries to explain that he is not that kind of person, where Clayton expresses herself to him that she is not that kind of person to be looked at, and the Lombard reacts as she is pretending.
I think you're pretending.
Now Lombard expresses sorry if he has made her uncomfortable by staring at her legs. Clayton replies saying, I doubt if you have sorry for anything. Caretaker hammers or beat the plate to gather everyone for the dinner. Dinner is being served and the whole table does not know each other, where Emily expresses her thoughts against the host seeing the 10 marble soldier on the board. I'm not sure about these. They look very pagan, where Clayton explains that these are the 10 soldiers from the poem hanged in every room they all must have noticed or seen. While their chit-chat, Judge talks about abbreviation of UN Owen, the host's name, Yulik Norman. Clayton puts her own theory about Mrs. Owen, saying she is Una Nancy. Now it's getting dark. Dessert is being served, where Emily Brand asks the caretaker about the host, perhaps if they can call and phone, but there is no any phone, and only communication with the outer world is through the telegram, only in the morning. Where Tony asks the caretaker if he can make an arrangement or make sure his car, which is parked by the harbor, is taken care too, which is where Edward realizes Tony is the guy who overtook his car.
Your car, the gents.
They are advised to kill the argument by shaking hands as gentlemen. As time passes before the bad time, an announcement is being made, captures everyone's attention. Ladies and gentlemen, silence, please.
You are charged with the following indictments.
Edward George Armstrong, you murder Louisa Mericles. Emily Caroline Brandt, that you murder Beatrice Taylor. William Henry Bloor, that you did murder James Stephen Lanter. Vera Elizabeth Clayton, that
You did murder Cyril Ogilvy Hamilton.
Philip Lombard, that you did murder 21 men. John Gordon MacArthur, that you did murder Henry Richmond. Anthony James Marston, that you did murder John and Lucy Combs. Lawrence Coath Wargrave, that you did murder Edward Seaton. Thomas Ethel Roger, that you did murder Jennifer Brady. Prisoners at the bar, how do you plead? Where these announcements are being heard, Lombard kicks the door where the sound is coming from. It was from the record on the gramophone. While everyone is in shock trying to find out, Tony leaves to get a drink, and Mrs. Roger, caretaker's wife, loses her consciousness, and Dr. Armstrong takes care of her and gives her something to drink. Meanwhile, everyone gathers on the drawing room. Roger and the caretaker enters the room with a paper full of the instructions. He proves knowing nothing about the record because his wife's name was also mentioned in it. He explains further about the Mrs. Brady that she was everything for them. He could never murder her, but actually he did murder her while his wife was watching him with this heinous act or heinous crime. He lies and tells all the guests that he did not murder anyone. Believes in him, caretaker leaves, and everyone starts to explain each other.
Louise Cleese was a surgical patient. It was risky before the court, but he was guilty. Henry Richmond was one of my finest young officers.
The only time I laid hands on Landor was to put handcuffs on him.
The little boy. He wasn't supposed to swim.
It was pinpoint accurate about me.
Emily becomes the first to express herself towards Lombard, saying, "You are a terrible man." Judge interrupts, saying, And despite Mr. Lombard's devastating confession, we are all the victims of the cruel hawks. I think we should all retire and be ready to leave in the morning with Mr. Narracott. As they are agreed not to talk about these accusations anymore, Tony explains it was a total accident, a chaos. Two kids just ran in front of his car while he was driving, and he lost his license for 6 months, but poor kids were gone, and suddenly he starts to choke and dies on the spot, leaving everyone in shock. They put him in the bed, covers his face, while Lombard calls Armstrong, showing cocaine in Tony's room. Maybe he was overdosed. On the other hand, Mrs. Rogers, wife of the caretaker, recalls her memories while she was on the bed trying to sleep, her husband killing their employer. Dr. Armstrong also dreams about his act while caretaker breaks the silence by knocking at his door, calling him to come out and to check on his wife.
She's been dead for some hours.
As everyone is getting ready that morning, Clayton sees Armstrong asking him about Mrs. Roger, the wife of the caretaker. He tells her that she is gone. She is dead for a few hours. Clayton is confused with bit of fear to show Armstrong something downstairs. She takes him downstairs and shows him the boat of the soldiers. Now they were 8. 2 have been missing or disappeared. 8 figures for the 8 people into that castle. As she asks him, "Tell me if I'm right." Doctor leaves, but Clayton is lost in her memories, thinking about the boy that she used to babysit. While Lombard is standing on the staircase, General enters. Their chit-chat. The General expresses about this happening as they are cut off from the outer world. Rat in the barrel. This is perfectly a piece before
This is a piece before the carnage.
Next episode, everyone about her theory, 10 soldier poem. Everyone comes with their own theory about the chaos or event they are facing, checking each other's belonging, putting blame to each other, while Lombard says, "We are being hunted."
There's someone else on this island. How will I find him? I'm gonna make him number 22.
Stay tuned for the episode 2 of the absolute masterpiece of the adventure and the mystery. And if you are the fan of the mysterious, dark, true crime story, movie recap or review, please stick with me. That's all I do, and I upload once or twice a week. You folks take care of yourself and your surroundings. I am Uzair Sipra. Until next time. Don't forget to tune in for the episode 2 later on.